Nation, your girl Cece, the afternoon ride. I'm so excited about this. I got Tony A in the building with me for the very first time. And of course, we've got DJ Yella, the legendary DJ Yella from N.W.A. Thank you guys so much, both of you guys, for stopping by and coming. Such an honor. Such an honor.
It's an honor to be here.
No,
Absolutely.
It's an honor to have you. Do you know who you are? It's an honor to have you. Come on. Let's start off really quick why you guys are here.
Yes.
You're here because you're doing an event in Little Tokyo this Friday. I'm really excited. I'm going to be there as well. Hello, Stranger, but it's Club Roadium, right?
Yes.
How did you two link, Tony, DJ Yella?
Well, long story short, I met Yella back, I want to say, either 87 or 88.
What?
Yes, my manager, Steve Yano, rest in peace, took me to Audio Achievements, and that's when I first met Yella, Easy Dre, and all those other guys. Speed things up, I started the podcast, once again, in a nutshell. I contacted Yella. I wanted to get him on, share his story, and he's been on my podcast now 3 times. And who else to call to be a part of this event other than the legend himself?
Tony, how did you think of this event? Like, because explain what the event is, because it's so dope, the idea.
Well, I do want to get credit where credit is due, because I don't want to leave anybody out. David Vegas approached me.
Shout out to David Vegas.
Absolutely. And he tells me, hey, you know what? Let's do something with your platform. This is something that I've always wanted to do, but to be honest with you, I just didn't have anybody to do it with. You know, I always wanted to bring somebody in. So he said, let's do it. And I said, let's do it, bro. Just tell me what to do. We'll do it. We'll start inviting people. We'll get the DJs. We'll get some celebrities. We'll just start promoting, and let's see how it goes. So maybe this is the beginning of something, dope. I told him, and this was also his idea as well, I want to do all 90s theme music.
Ooh, yes.
I want to do all 90s because my era is 80s and 90s, but my album with High C, DJ Quick, Second to None, AMG all came out in 1991. So our albums are 33 years old. So I just figured, let's just go ahead and do all 90s. So.
And who's the lineup? What's the lineup looking like on Friday night?
Well, I just got a lot of personal friends of mine that are going to be spinning.
Personal friends, just legends.
Yes. So, and that's my thing, because there's a lot of guys that got big names, which is dope. But I wanted to give DJs that maybe had never gotten their name out there an opportunity to show their talent on the turntable. So.
Wow, and they get to showcase their talent in front of other legendary DJs.
Absolutely.
And that's how you build bridges in this culture, in this community, right?
Absolutely.
DJ Yella, when he called you and was like, we're doing this club, was it a right away yes? Or, because, you're a legend. Sometimes, we get nervous when legends start stepping out a little bit.
I had to text you, didn't I?
Yes.
Because I did the podcast, and I heard him talking about it, but I wasn't paying attention. Then somebody told me, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So I text him, and it's history.
We did it together. He just said, just tell me when, and I'm there. And I'm like, okay, cool. But he was like, if I'm in town, because he does travel a lot overseas. So I was like, hopefully we can make it when I give him the date, because I'm there, so let's do it.
It's crazy, because I get back in town that morning.
Wow.
From a cruise I'm going on in a week. So,
Work or personal? Work or personal?
Just
a little bit of both?
No, it's all personal.
Oh, all personal. Well, listen, you deserve that. Yes, sometimes we got to go ahead and go away, regroup, re-energize, and come back.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're going to need to do, because you're about to kick ass on Friday. Yes, I love this. Now, can we talk about the idea came with, Club Roadium from Rodium Podcast. Now, you started out, you said, I heard you before we even went on camera, you're like, I was begging people for interviews. And now your subscribers are at what?
Yeah, over 100,000.
Come on.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. I want to give credit to somebody who's in here who gave me one of my first interviews when I asked him. He didn't even know me. It was Tony Montana.
Shout out to Tony Montana.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony Montana.
Yeah.
Yes.
I never like to leave anybody out, because I had found my very first job was selling records at the Vermont Swami, which is in Gardena.
Mm-hmm.
And that was given to me by my manager, rest in peace, Steve Yano. He gave me my first job at 11 years old. I worked with him for about 3 years. Then I got reacquainted with him when I was about 18 years old. He's the one that's responsible for introducing me to everybody in this industry. That's where I met Dre at the Swamp Meet. I met Easy at the Swamp Meet. I met Sir Jinx at the Swamp Meet. Eventually, Cube, Jinx, and these guys started coming over to my house, recording mixtapes. Speed things along, I found out that he had a freak accident. He ended up passing away a few years back. I took it upon myself. I wasn't even in the music industry no more. I was working, and with my own money, I just got some guys that I didn't know. Let's do a documentary. I know the whole history. I interviewed everyone, Mr. Cartoon, from Lonzo to Clientele to Violet Brown, to everybody that he had introduced me to. but I didn't know how to promote it. My way of thinking was, do I buy an ad on a newspaper? Do I buy an ad on a magazine? Do I buy a bus stop, post or something? People kept telling me social media. I didn't know what that was. People telling me YouTube. I didn't know what that was. Spotify. I didn't know what that was. Podcasting. I didn't know what that was. I literally, for about 15 years, I didn't listen to no music.
Wow.
So I just didn't want anything to do with the music industry, but I took it upon myself to push this documentary that I did. And somebody said, podcasters, they it's almost like a internet interview. And I said, okay. And then Tony was one of the guys that I heard about, contacted him. He said, sure, man. And he didn't really know who I was, so I gave him a little bit of my history. And then from there, that's where the journey started.
Oh, and so how long has your podcast been around now?
A little bit over 4 years.
Wow. So in 4 years, that many subscribers. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. But I do want to just say something to encourage people who podcast, is that I didn't know what I was doing. I just said, let's go live. Everybody said, don't go live. Just put it on Spotify. Let everybody hear your audio. But I wanted to see interviews. I wanted people to see the people that I was talking to. Hearing radio, I heard that when LL Cool J was going to have a radio interview, and I heard him speak, I always just wanted to see him.
Right.
So I said, well, if I'm going to do it, I want people to see my guests. And that's why I went live. Everybody that told me don't do it has now hit me up, and I interviewed them.
Oh, man. Yes. And you know what I've learned about people like that? I don't hate them. I don't. They don't see the vision. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see the vision, but it's not theirs to see.
Right.
It's ours to show. So because when I first got into radio, a lot of people either doubted me, didn't understand it, and I took it personal for a second. But then I realized that it was my vision, and it was for me to display. And then once I showed them, then they got on board, and then they were supportive, and I'll take that too.
All haters.
Listen, I'll try to be nice. DJ Yella says, fuck them haters. No, I'm kidding. Yella, let's talk about your book, Straight Outta Compton, My Untold Story. It is available now, right? DJ Yella of NWA.com, as well as Amazon and Kindle. Now, your new book delves into your life story. Can you share what motivated you to write this book, and what you hope readers will actually take away when they do read it?
Well, something is, I never wanted to write a book because I never read a book. I did my 12 years, graduated, that's it.
Right.
Never opened a novel, nothing, never.
I'm a reader,
And it just came to me, and I went from like 5 years old all the way up to 2020, beginning of the pandemic. And it was so detailed. It's amazing that I remembered all this stuff. And I just, not like the movie just did hit and miss. And
right.
Some people's stories, no people's story. Mine was just, wasn't my story. It was just my life. In N.W.A., Easy, everything that happened was in that timeline. And I just talked about. I didn't throw nobody under the bus.
Right.
I just told it like it was.
Got to give us a little bit of the behind the scenes and the gems of what goes on, because a lot of people don't understand. We see what's on stage, but the real story is really behind the curtains.
Oh yeah, I mean, how it started. I mean, from just way back, from a little kid. Things happened when I was 5 years old, and just took me a long time to get over it.
What
stuff I went through, like not an attack,
right?
Molest or whatever. I went through a lot as a kid. I went through a lot my whole life. It's just amazing that I'm still here and able to tell you. But my thing is to just tell people this is what I did, and God still loved me for what I did.
Did you have to pull your family aside and prepare them? Like, I'm coming out with this book, and there probably might be some stories you don't know. I'm gonna sit you down, type of deal.
No, not really. It just came to me, and it's amazing. I just wrote it from the beginning to the end, all in perfect time. It just kept coming to me. I'm just
That's
like, wow, I
crazy.
remember this, I remember that. I mean, we've been through so much stuff. Just the Wrecking Crew days and N.W.A. and the so-called breakup and this and the death of all kind of things.
Now, we know that your book's going to resonate with hip-hop fans. A lot of us, the N.W.A. merch, the hats, the music, the albums, we're so invested in it. But can you share some of the insights into the N.W.A. journey?
Oof. I mean,
just some takeaways we can get from the book.
It was
you don't have to read the rest of it and go to Amazon.com.
Yeah.
But he gonna give us a little teaser. Yes.
I mean, it's so much we did about in the beginning days coming to KDAY. Me and Dre doing the mixes. I mean, we did, I really looked at it. We did a lot before anybody even thought about this. And what's so crazy, I go back further than Dre. Because I was in the Wrecking Crew a couple of years before Dre was even thought of.
Wow.
And I was already starting to do mixtapes, all kind of things, trying to create stuff. Wasn't really knowing where I was going, but it's just like it was there for me. So all of it just like lined up, being in a Wrecking Crew, not making no money. But there was a reason why we didn't make money. Then he came around, met him, selling him clothes. I was selling him and his baby mama clothes.
Damn,
that's how I met him.
And that's how you met E.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I wasn't boosting, but somebody crazy in one of the stores was just giving me guests. I mean, I was Mr. Guest.
Damn.
Everything, jackets, belts, everything. And I'm just selling. He was my best customer.
And he was like, listen, I'm just hustling. I'm just doing what I do.
Oh, yeah.
What made you, or who inspired you, rather, to be a DJ? I mean, was there a moment where you're like, I want to be a DJ, or you saw somebody, you're like, man, I love that, or was it just music connecting?
I think it was music because it's in my family. Because I play drums. I mean, I just early age just got on the drums and played. I knew how to play. Both my brothers know how to play. And it's just, and it's so crazy. I didn't really realize I DJ'd when I was like in the junior high. They don't have junior high. It's middle school.
Middle
now.
school, yeah, right.
I was like the 8th grade or something. And I was DJing with 8-track tapes. So I just preset them. And then
my gosh.
when my brother's reception, when it's time to play the best song, I had already queued. I just put it in. I wasn't doing no mixing or nothing.
Right.
But I was like programming, being a DJ. See, people don't understand DJing ain't about scratching and all this. It's about getting on the microphone, and it's about programming that event to make it jump from here to there.
One of a good friend of mine who's a DJ out in Vegas told me, and I always took it with me. He says, see, a good DJ, a real good DJ, doesn't DJ for themselves. They go out there and they look at the crowd and they DJ for that crowd.
Yeah, you can just sense it.
Yes.
Okay, this one, that one kind of change it. It's simple, but, DJs don't talk on the mic no more. They just play the music. And
I remember when DJs would talk on the mic and get us hype and do the songs. We would sing along,
that's that's where I come from. You too. I mean, that's the old days.
Yes, you know what? Let me mention, it was March 24th, 1988. I was one of the few that ever got to see N.W.A. perform. Okay, it was at the Anaheim Celebrity Theater.
Yeah.
Saw King T with Mixmaster Spade, rest in peace. DJ Pooh, DJ Aladdin was on the turntables, and then I saw the DOC perform.
Yeah.
And then you guys went on there and wrecked it, and then Ice-T went up there and he was
that
performing.
the night it ended in the fight? Yeah.
Yeah.
The first night.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it just ended.
Oh my goodness!
Because the stage is in the center and it turns, so it's real close and intimate. And then I don't know what happened.
You said the Hollywood Palladium, right?
No. Anaheim Celebrity Theater.
Oh, okay.
It was 1988.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There was an incident when there was these guys, they just kept fighting because N.W.A. was on there. And these guys, I guess they had beer muscles, and then they started fighting. Jure stopped the music, and I could never forget, he said, if those motherfuckers want to fight, bring them up on stage. That's exactly, I was like, holy The whole crowd went crazy.
Oh my goodness. And how long ago was this?
1988, March 24th.
Ooh, you guys have known each other for a minute then.
Yes. Well, I've been around them only, and again, I like to get credit's due because Steve would bring me around.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. Now, the Straight Outta Compton, it's such an iconic hip hop album. Can you take us back to the moment you first realized the impact that you had on the genre and the culture, especially considering the controversial lyrics and the themes, to that moment where you're like, yo, we're making a fucking impact here right now with the culture? Because I'm sure maybe as a group of guys, you get in the studio, it's fun to you, it's music, this is what you love. But then when it hits, and you're like, oh, this
but you know
really
what's so
hit.
crazy? We didn't, well, at least I can speak for myself. I didn't get to feel it because we was doing so much music back to back to back to back. This one platinum, this one platinum. You know, we just kept hitting hits after hit. We was the new Motown. We was the new Motown coming because everything we did was platinum. Everything. JJ Fad, the first gold and single and the album, and then our albums, Easy album, and Michelle A, DLC. We just kept coming. so we didn't really get to feel it. We seen when it got banned by MTV,
Right.
that was the start. And then when the FBI sent us the letter, that was
my
just,
gosh.
thank you. That just took it. You know what's so crazy?
What's up?
I've never seen, and I ask people this all the time. I don't care what genre, music, doesn't matter, heavy metal, rock. What group was number one 30 years before and came back and better than it was before? I don't know very many groups. I've been asking this same question. Nobody have told me nothing. Not the Rolling Stones.
That's the only thing that came to my mind was probably the
Not
Rolling
even
Stones.
the Stones. They still tour, but it's the old music.
Yeah.
Right.
Ours is old music, but that old music was like when the movie came out, it's like a whole new era. And it's like
It
Straight
really
Outta
is.
Compton went around the world all at once.
It really is. I mean, you see everybody straight out of Compton.
Yeah.
Then they even changed it straight out of their own personal city.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
They customize it. It's so crazy. I remember growing up, and the reason I started listening to N.W.A. was because my older cousin would listen to N.W.A. And so at the time, my family was, Compton, Watts, Linwood. And so I would go into his room. He had posters. He wore Raiders because you guys were Raiders. So then I wore Raiders because he wore Raiders. I mean, it just trickled down, and I remember sitting down, and just before you guys walked in, I'm going to share something with you. I remember sitting down watching the Straight Outta Compton movie. I was at the premiere, and it felt good, especially when I saw a portion of, 1580 AM, KDAY. And I just told DJ Eman right in the hallways, I said, what's so crazy? I said, is that you see us a little bit in the movie, and he's going to sit right here now at 935 KDAY, and it's still going.
Yeah.
40 years.
Yeah.
This is amazing. 40 years, KDAY is still here, still relevant. I mean, listen, we're the first hip-hop station in the country. So going back to our 40th and you being here, how important is KDAY to the West Coast?
Oh, KDAY was it. I mean, without KDAY, it wouldn't be no West Coast to me because, me and Dre started the first traffic jam. The first one every day until we got tired and like, okay, somebody else got to do this. We got records to make.
Right.
But it
That's
was
very
just-
true.
We used to go to KDAY every day to try to get there at 5 o'clock for that 10-minute mix. Every day we used to fight that traffic.
Oh, my
Instead
God.
of making a week's worth, every day we make the mix early and drop. Every 2-hour traffic.
But see, I love it because that's that live. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's that vibe. I
yeah.
think that's what it is, and that's what.
I mean, it's just like us. We are one. They talk about us. We ruined hip hop. I've been meaning to comment on that.
That was Special Ed who just recently
Yeah.
said that, right?
Said that NWA ruined hip hop. I think we cranked it up.
I think so too.
We opened it up.
Listen, I'm from the West, and I'm always ride for the
Yeah.
West. But I mean, you ruined hip hop. I feel like you spoke about what was going on in our communities and what we saw every
Yeah.
day, and you gave us a voice. The people
Absolutely.
that were in the hood.
Yeah.
I saw some bullshit. I grew up, you know what I'm saying? Linwood, Watts, Compton, we moved around so much that and I come from a family, gangbang, it is
Yeah.
what it is. This is how the streets are. So when you spoke a language we understood.
And the thing about it, it wasn't. Yeah, it was Compton, but that Compton is in everywhere around the world. There's a ghetto
Yeah.
everywhere.
Right.
People going through the same stuff. Walk out your door. This is what we rapped about. That's all we knew. We didn't rap about Disneyland, New York. No, we rapping about these streets right here. What happened, could happen. That's how it was.
Is it offensive sometimes when you hear that, like NWA ruined hip hop?
He wanted to do an interview on a radio station. Man, I'm not touching that because I thought about it and I said, we changed the face of hip hop. We didn't try to. We didn't ask. We totally changed. Think about it. We changed the face of sports. How many teams got black now?
Yeah.
Every team got black. It's just amazing. And we were just trying to make a few bucks. That's all it was.
I see it as, when you guys came out, you were kids coming out and speaking about their everyday life that they saw around them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of us are, can be a product of, of our society, and some of us aim higher. But I think at the end of the day, NBA is such an iconic, group and made such a staple, especially for the West Coast imprint when it comes to hip hop.
Oh yeah. I mean,
You
we
know?
didn't create hip hop.
No.
It was already created from New York.
Right. But the West
But
Coast
we-
imprint, yes.
We put our foot in it.
That's what I'm saying. Put it in it all the way. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to put their foot in it this Friday again. Club Roadium.
Yes, November 17th. Not
I'm
this Friday,
excited.
the
Oh, I'm
following
sorry.
Friday.
Next Friday. My bad. Next Friday. I'm so excited. I already got my outfit for this Friday. Y'all would have been the first one right there at the door. You know, they say Mexicans usually late. I would have been early.
I would have been early. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, listen, 90s music. I love that you're doing that, Tony. Right now, you see it everywhere.
Yes,
You see it on the streaming apps. You see it on commercials.
absolutely. Yes.
You know, you see it themes on TV. It's so
You see it around the world. I done
Yes.
been to
in the malls, Yella.
I done been to almost every country. I don't care, Korea, Vietnam, Norway, doesn't matter. I've been there. And that's all they want is 90s.
Mhm.
That's all I DJ is 90s music.
Why do you think they want 90s? I think I know why, but I want to hear from you.
To me, the 90s, late 80s was the golden time of hip hop. That was the best hip hop ever made. There wasn't no drama. You think about it. You put on a record for 2 seconds. You know where it came from, what coast, everything. Nobody copied each other. And it was just so fresh and so just unique. That era was the best era.
I think so too. You know, I have, I'm a little older, but I have nieces and they're young. You know, one of my nieces just turned 21 and she loves KDAY music.
Mhm.
She loves KDAY music and she's bumping it. I'm like, how do you know this song?
Right,
You know,
right.
but they know it and they
Yeah.
gravitate to it. So I always say because it's classic. Everything you hear, you hear the music and you already know what it is and you've got that bounce, you know.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So I love that it's going to be 90s. How can they get to the club? Hello Stranger inside.
Well, I just want to piggyback on something he said really quick.
Yeah.
Pertaining to the question, why is 90s music better than, at least in my opinion, 90s music is the best? It's because, Yella, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the production side. When I walked into the studio, I saw you guys had an 808 drum machine, and you guys had the SB12 drum machine. The SB12 drum machine has 10 seconds, 2.5 seconds for each pad.
SB12.
The SB1200, correct. Okay. And you guys created the DOC, the Michelet, the JJ Fad, the N.W.A, the whatever,
Yeah.
the DOC out of just that one drum machine. They were so creative with what little they had when it came to technology that today we have so much more, and I still believe that they cannot top what was created in the 90s.
Wow, I love that. That's a great
Yeah,
explanation.
they
of
got
that,
too
yes.
much. It's just too much. It's just they don't have to think no more. They can just let me hear that song. We had to go off of raw. We had to create whatever the sound we trying to hear. It wasn't no YouTube or nothing. You can just go because there wasn't no internet. Wasn't
Right.
nothing. We were just raw. All the music, not just us. All that was raw.
Even DJing back then, you guys used to carry crates
Crates.
everywhere.
Yes.
Like everywhere crates. I mean, now luckily DJs don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
You know, it's a laptop and a backpack and we good.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing of technology that we don't have to carry crates no
Oh,
more.
yeah.
But you know what? And even in my opinion, because of technology, I still think that back then, those DJs were better than these DJs. My opinion. If you guys never seen Yella spin, Yella used to get off.
Yeah.
I was blessed and fortunate to have been around them when they were DJing. So you know what? I'm thankful to have been around this long and to still know him and to be around him. And we're gonna all be together on November 17th.
I love it. November 17th, Hello Stranger, Little Tokyo. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow them on Instagram so you can grab your tickets. How can they grab the tickets?
You know what? David Vegas, contracts for you, or you can actually go on my Instagram, Tony A. The Wiz, Tony A. The Wiz. There's a D-A, not T-H-E. The link's in my bio. And contact one of us, or you just show up that day, buy your tickets at the door. But I wouldn't trust them buying at the door. Get your tickets now.
Yeah, get your tickets now. Get
Yes.
into this. This is going to be a hell of an event. Seriously. And I love the fact that you guys are here. Thank you so much. I mean, it's an honor. I have to tell you, like, the reason why I work at KDAY is partly because of NWA. Because I grew up on, I grew up on NWA. I grew up on, Tupac. We came from, Compton. So we were, Shaka Khan, the Ohio players, Teddy Pendergrass. I mean, that's just what it was.
Yes.
And I remember, I've been in radio for 20 years, but I remember at some point I moved back from Vegas and I was contemplating if I was going to stay in radio. And I remember seeing the street team out, and they gave me a KDAY sticker, and I did a vision board, and I said, dreams do come true. And I put the arrow to KDAY, and I was like, I've worked at different radio stations, Yella. I've worked with the best of the best. I've worked with the worst of the worst. And this was the only station that I saw myself at, because I wanted to be at an iconic hip hop station, and I wanted to say some way throughout my career that I worked at a hip hop iconic station, and I'm here at KDAY.
Oh yeah, KDAY. I mean, like I said, without KDAY, the West would never be.
No, thank you so much. Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you.
And how can they get your book? We're gonna say it one more time for you guys.
Amazon, you can go to Amazon or DJ Yella of NWA.com. It's called Straight Outta Compton, My Untold Story.
There it
Hardback
is.
or paperback.
Okay, there it is. We're gonna have to go ahead and get our order on too. And how can they go ahead and is it gonna be like an Eventbrite besides your Instagram?
Beside my Instagram, yes, I believe it is.
Links are on the bio.
Ticket links are on the bio, so
There we
please,
go.
concerts for you, or Tony the Wiz, and also want to give a shout out to DJ Battlecat, who was supposed to be here,
Yes.
but he will be in the building November 17th.
Oh, hell yeah,
Yes.
hell yeah. Speaking of the original KDAY, Tony G was my DJ at one of my stations.
Oh wow, really?
And yeah, and just speaking with Tony G and working with him so closely, I really appreciate the art of DJing.
Mhm.
And I remember when I was in Vegas, and this is all a testimony to Tony G. A couple of DJs that were at the radio station were like, "See, let us teach you. We're gonna teach you how to make money because you a DJ or you a girl. You're gonna make double what we
Yeah.
make because you're a girl." And I remember saying, "No, because I won't respect the craft as much as you guys do. And I feel like if I don't respect the craft and I just do it for money, I'm watering down what you guys
Yeah.
do." So I've never done it because it's not
Mhm.
my craft. This is what I do, and I
Yeah.
love it. But that's because I respect the craft because of Tony G. Yes,
Well,
there it is right there.
Let me just drop this really quick. Tony G may be coming. I've talked to him, and he just said he needs to find out if he's going to be in town. But I did speak to him a couple of days ago. So.
Oh my God, that'll be awesome. There it is right there. It's 935 KDAY.